Hello everyone, this is Paushta Fashion Workshop. I remind you that we post new videos every day. Today, we continue working with the pattern for the sweatshirt. I remind you how this pattern was made. Draw a line which marks the length of the garment, measure the length of the back of it, find the half of the measurement, draw a line which marks the width of the back, draw the shoulder and the sleeve. Make the sleeve as tight as you want. I made the both sides tighter and made sure that this angle was straight. The pattern for the sweatshirt is ready. Next, we need to adjust it for the knitted design. There's something I want to tell you. Having such pattern, you'll be able to sew so many different garments. You can't even imagine. You can adjust it to any design you like. Draw any lines and details. Try different ways of decoration. Try combining different fabrics and details. Use your imagination. You can even try cutting small details of the fabrics of different colors and attaching them to the main fabric as a decoration. It's up to you whether to do it or not. Next, I need to draw a line a bit above this one, which marks the half of the back length. You know what? You can actually draw this line wherever you want. The most important thing is for you to follow my instruction when drawing the base of this pattern. What I'll be doing from now on is just a matter of the design choice. This is how it is going to look like in my case. It will be slightly round. The first line is ready. Here it is in the sketch. There will be a fold here in the sleeve details. I write it down. The fold. I'll also sign that this is both the center front and the center back. Have a look here once again. You can make a seam here if you want. Anyway, I don't recommend making seams in these details. I remind you that they will be even both in the front and in the back. The detail at the bottom is going to be about 7 cm wide. I'm not going to cut it from the bottom. I'm going to cut one more detail and attach it on top of the main one. As I've already said, what I'm doing now is just a matter of the design choice. You can draw and cut any details and lines you want. I'm going to draw the princess seams next. I remind you that there will also be the pockets on the front. Try not to make them too small. Big pockets are much more stylish and beautiful than the small ones. You can draw the princess seams however you want. Try not to make them straight. I want it to look this way. It will be slightly round. As I've already said, you can draw these lines however you want. This is how the princess seams are going to look like in our case. I remind you that there will be 2 princess seams both in the front and at the back. This is how the pockets are going to look like. I remind you that this is the pattern both for the front and the back. I want to mark the pocket. Here it is. I'm going to make a pattern for the pocket separately. I can't cut this one. I remind you that this is going to be a one-piece detail, and the pocket is going to be attached on top of it. The sleeves in the back and the front details are going to be absolutely even. I could have used even a more simple way for drawing the sleeves. Anyway, I wanted you not only to copy me, but to understand what I was doing. How to draw the sleeves, how to find the width of the back, how to alter the shoulders, and so on. The design is not complicated, but it's not the most simple one either. I want to measure and mark 11 centimeters here. This is how wide the slit is going to be. If there is enough fabric left, we're going to make a detachable collar. It will be cut on the bias. Natalie will be able to take it off and on whenever she wants to. This is a pretty useful technique. Don't you agree that sometimes you wish there was no collar in your sweater? We'll show you how to do it. Next, I need to trace the pocket to a piece of the tracing paper. I remind you that there will be 2 pockets in the sweatshirt. Guys, I show you a lot of different useful designs and techniques. I'm not greedy. I'm willing to share my knowledge with you. I want you to understand one very important thing. You do not necessarily have to make exactly the same garments as I show you. My job here is to show you the needed techniques. I want you to learn to use your imagination. I want you to learn to work with different patterns. You do not necessarily have to make the seams here. You do not have to make the pockets. You can make the sleeves look as if they were inserted in the armholes. Change the design however you want. You can also make more princess seams. It's up to you whether to make the pockets or not, of which shape to make them. It's very easy to work with the blend wool. Stitch a square detail and make an opening in it. A pocket is ready. I am going to cut a pattern for the pocket next. The sweatshirt will be perfect for Natalie. She drives a car to work and back home. She'll be able to put the keys in the pockets. This is how they are going to look like. They will be 20 centimeters wide and 23 centimeters long in the top point. This is the perfect size for the pockets. They are not going to be too big. I can move both the pocket pattern and the sketch aside. I'm not going to use the tracing paper again either. Have a look here. Some people might not like this straight line. I remind you that the blend wool is very soft. It will be pretty comfortable this way. You can make the neckline deeper if you want. We might even decide to do it after the first fitting. If Natalie says that she wants to do it, we'll do it. A customer's wish is a rule. The best thing about this technique is that there is no need to make individual patterns for the front and the back. The pattern for the sweatshirt is almost ready. I'm glad that I've decided to show you how to make such amazing sweatshirts. I'm also happy about the fact that I'm making it for Natalie. As I've already said, the most important thing is that now you know how to make a base pattern. You can draw any details and lines you like. Change the design however you want. Some people like baggy armholes. Change the side seam in this case. Draw it the way you want it to look like.
Я уже не знаю, у меня миллиметровка так закатывается, что мне надо как-то справляться с этим.
I don't like it when the tracing paper rolls up. It's not convenient to work with it in this case. I remind you that there will be a fold here in the sleeve details. Here it is. As I've already said, you can draw this line however you want. Do not forget to add 1 cm wide seam extensions to all the cut details. I remind you that I've made a pattern for the pocket. There will be the additional details stitched to the bottom. I'm not going to cut them in advance.
Потому что ладен же как у нас кроится? Он у нас кроится.
The fold. Do not forget to make a checkpoint here. This is the pattern for the pocket. The pocket is going to be stitched here. There will also be an additional detail stitched to the bottom. The pocket will be stitched in all of these 3 seams. This is the princess seam, and this is the sleeve seam. Today I showed you how to make a pattern for a sweatshirt out of the blend wool. This is one of the techniques which I created myself. As I always say, it's better to see something once than read about it twice. Use the techniques which I show you. Don't be lazy. Practice makes perfect. That's all for today. Let's be different and beautiful together. I'm working really hard to make it come true. My name is Paukšte Irina. Subscribe to my channel, write comments, share the videos, press the like and the bell buttons. I would really appreciate your support. Thank you. Goodbye.